Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Andrew Yang. We're going to talk about his 6 remaining opponents, and we're going to talk about wisdom, and we're going to talk about the Electoral College. All right. So the Electoral College has been a major talking point within the 2020 election. All the candidates have an opinion on it. And one thing that is very interesting right now is Andrew Yang stands alone. This is the first time that this has happened, but Andrew Yang stands alone on the Electoral College, right? So basically, among his actual opponents. So there's so many unusual things that are happening right now. So right now, Andrew Yang actually has only 6 opponents, right? So Andrew Yang, he essentially is, making his political assault on the barricades that are erected to stop him from being the U.S. presidential candidate for the Democrats, right? He's working hard to do that, right? And he has he only has 6 real opponents in that task right now. And that is the 6 candidates that have actually qualified for the December 19th debate, okay? So just so you're aware, December 12th is the last day to qualify for the debates. We are expecting that there are some polls that are going to drop very soon, maybe on Thursday or Friday, and I'm expecting that Andrew Yang is going to get his final needed poll to qualify for the debate, right? It's very, very critical that he qualifies for the debate. But there are 6 opponents who have already qualified, and they are the only true opponents that are left for Andrew Yang. And actually, not even all of them are real threats. There's only 1 or 2 threats in the actual whole board, right? So it's good, really good that Andrew Yang is hanging on and he's not quitting like Kamala Harris just did, right? But all of these, so let's talk about the candidates, right? Who are his six actual opponents? Well, it's very easy to remember them. You have the septuagenarian trinity. You have Biden, Sanders, Warren. They're all 70 plus, right? They're all, that's important. It's important to remember because Bernie Sanders' heart attack has redefined age and the primary race, right? It's the largest thing that's happened in the 2020 election, right? We currently have a person leading many polls who suffered a heart attack not even 2 months ago, right? Like literally a matter of weeks, who is running. It's incredible. It's one of the most amazing events I've ever seen in all the time I've been following politics, right? All right, so you have the septuagenarian trinity. You have BBC, right? Now the BBC used to mean something different, but I'm redefining it. Buttigieg, billionaire Tom Steyer, Klobuchar, I know her name's spelled with a K, and Klobuchar. They're those 6. That's it. The septuagenarian trinity, and then Tom Steyer, Pete Buttigieg, and Amy Klobuchar are the only people who have qualified for the election, that have qualified for the December 19th debate, right? And that is a very good measurement on whether you're an actual, real threat to win the 2020 U.S. presidential race, right? So what's really fascinating is those 6 have all stood for the elimination of the Electoral College, and only Andrew Yang stands aside and says, no, I'm not for eliminating the Electoral College, right? So what I want to talk today about is wisdom, right? So this demonstrates, so we've talked a lot about Andrew Yang's intelligence. Andrew Yang is intelligent at a level no other candidate is, right? He really is truly amazingly intelligent. I think it's one of his strongest attributes. He's incredibly intelligent. He's written books, and he has succeeded in 3 different arenas beyond politics, which are much harder which I think are much harder to achieve in than politics, right? Which is education, corporation, and beneficence. Yeah, right. And so he's really crushed it in those worlds. He has an incredible amount of intelligence. We don't talk enough about his wisdom, right? So let's talk about this Electoral College issue, right? So the Electoral College issue is pretty amazing. So all 6 of his opponents, right, stand for eliminating the Electoral College. Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg have made this major pillars within their platforms, right? Now, this is a wisdom check fail, okay? In Dungeons and Dragons, when you need to make wisdom is one of 6 attributes. You have intelligence, charisma, and wisdom. You also have strength, dexterity, and constitution, right? But when you need to make a wisdom check, when you need to make a judgment, right? When you need to apply your knowledge, you make a wisdom check. You have a bonus for wisdom. You roll your d20 and you add your bonus, and you're usually going at a target of about 15 to 18, right? So if you roll a 14 and you have +4, you've gotten an 18, right? Well, every single candidate here is rolling 1, 2, or 3, and their wisdom bonuses are 1, 2, or 3. So all these candidates are getting a 5, 6, or a 7 on their wisdom bonus and failing, right, on their wisdom check and failing. Saying you are against the Electoral College has always been a wisdom fail. If you are wise, you understand the value of the Electoral College. But right now, it is particularly bad to be against the Electoral College because it means you are not consistent. Not only are you not wise, you are not consistent, right? So first and foremost, why do we need the Electoral College, right? Well, it is a safety mechanism in case someone figures out how to hack, right? How to hack the electorate, right? It is a safety mechanism that is there in case somebody figures out how to hack the public, right? Literally, how to make it so that the American public vote for them in a way that is unexpected but not really fair or useful, right? And one of the biggest ones is, and one of the reasons why we're here is people aren't old enough to remember the name of this film, The Manchurian Candidate, right? There's this idea that what if someone actually snuck in a candidate who really did not meet the qualifications, right? What if somebody, really just kind of constructed a candidate that was designed to win, but was not designed to actually lead the American people, right? So the Electoral College, even though the American public could be fooled, the Electoral College remains there as a safety mechanism to say, well, maybe you fooled millions of Americans, but you're not going to fool these wise, careful, cautious few hundred people that we have given the responsibility to make sure that the election is done in a way that will help the American people, right? So you have the Manchurian Candidate issue, but even beyond that, right? It's a safety mechanism in case someone figures out how to hack the American public. Well, guess what? If you are against the Electoral College right now, right, it means you lack even the barest shreds of wisdom. Barest shreds. And the reason why is it is no secret that our electoral process is under assault. It is clearly under assault by the Russians. This came out in the Mueller report, right? There wasn't even any disagreement between the Republicans and the Democrats. Nobody really is even contesting that the Russians tried to hack our election using Facebook. Okay, actually using social media specifically, social media overall. Facebook was just one, right? Twitter, a whole bunch of social media sites. Russian hackers jumped in and tried to sway the American public, right? And confuse the issue, make people angry, all kinds of things like that. So if you have an instance that, you know, every major news source has identified that there's an external country clearly trying to hack our elections, and you're like, you know what? Right now, when our elections are trying to be hacked by an international source, that'd be a great time to get rid of one of our major, most needed safety mechanisms, right? It's stunning, right? Why on earth would Pete Buttigieg, why on earth would Elizabeth Warren say this thing that lacks so much wisdom, right? If this just happened in 2016 and there isn't even any argument whether Russia was trying to hack our election, there has been why would you go down this road? By the way, there is argument over whether we should be worried about this attempt, right? Like, and there are a lot of Republicans, and I'm among them, right? If you try to hack our election with social media, that's weak sauce, man. Like, like, come on, like, I do not get worried about mean Facebook posts and mean Twitter posts, or even confusing Twitter posts and confusing Facebook posts. It's laughable. It's hardly even a threat, right? But the reality is, it is an attempt. It is an attempt to, like, an ineffective attempt to hack our system. Doesn't mean that the attempt isn't happening, right? And there really isn't even any debate on whether it's happening or not. The Republicans and the Democrats both agree on that. What they disagree about is whether it's effective or whether it's anything that should be worried about, right? But the reality is, if you have attempts to hack your election, that's not the time to get rid of safety mechanisms. It's just really, really bad and unwise, right? So, one, all of Andrew Yang's opponents that have qualified for the December 19th debate, right? They all are specifically again for eliminating the Electoral College, which that has always been a bad idea. That has been a bad idea since the day the Electoral College was. The Electoral College is incredibly necessary. It's incredibly important. Now, make no mistake, it's incredibly non-intuitive. So the vast majority of Americans will not understand why it's needed. Only political wonks, only people who have deep wisdom, only people who are highly read, only people who understand non-intuitive, complex processes and systems understand the need for the Electoral College. Only those people, right? Now, get this, Pete Buttigieg and Elizabeth Warren, they are political wonks, right? They do understand complex, non-intuitive processes, right? All of Andrew Yang's opponents who are for the elimination of the Electoral College, and Andrew Yang is not, they do not lack intelligence. They lack wisdom. That is a very specific distinction, right? Now, why on earth would Elizabeth Warren specifically and Pete Buttigieg believe, go for this policy, this eliminating the Electoral College policy, right? Well, it's very simple. It's not because they lack intelligence, right? It is because they lack wisdom, but even more specifically than that, it comes from their base nature as politicians. Politicians build policy on play. Oh, is this going to play with the electoral? Is this policy going to play with the people? Is it going to play? Is it going to get action? Is it going to get talk among the media? Is it going to make me popular? Right? Does it play? Is it popular? This is dyed in the wool politician behavior, and make no mistake, Elizabeth Warren is a dyed-in-the-wool politician, and Pete Buttigieg is a dyed-in-the-wool politician, right? So for them, this is just a knee-jerk reaction, right? The vast majority of their policies, now I won't say all, but the vast majority of their policies, there's really very little thought that goes into any of it, right? It's just, hey, what did the polls say I should believe? Let's do that, right? Andrew Yang ain't like that. He applies wisdom, he implies intelligence. And that's why on the Electoral College issue, he currently stands alone. He stands alone. And so while we celebrate Andrew Yang's intelligence every day because it is truly extraordinary, right? Right now, it's time to celebrate his wisdom. And I'm incredibly thankful and grateful that we have a wise candidate, right? We have a candidate who makes policy based on what's best for the people, not what plays with the media, not that people get excited about, not that's popular, not that's easy to understand, right? Being a champion of the electoral, actually, Andrew Yang ain't even a champion of the Electoral College. Not standing against something that is complicated and non-intuitive, right? Not standing against something that is hard to not join the bandwagon. That's what Andrew Yang is doing. He is an amazing, awesome candidate, and I'm incredibly thankful that we still have a candidate in this race who has both intelligence and wisdom, right? Let's be super clear. All the candidates have intelligence. But anybody who's against the Electoral College right now, right, when there are literally Russian attempts to hack our system, and you're saying we're going to dismantle a safety mechanism we've had for decades, or probably over a century, it means you lack wisdom. And also you don't understand sequencing. We've talked about sequencing in the past. Sequencing, right? Like, okay, I get it. You're against the Electoral College, but you can't be against the Electoral College right now, because we're literally experiencing attempts to hack our elections from international sources. It's not even debated on whether it's happened or not, right? So there's no way, if you're consistent, you cannot be for getting rid of the Electoral College right now. And so I just did want to take a moment today and explain the reason Andrew Yang does not want to eliminate the Electoral College is he has wisdom. The reason Pete Buttigieg and Elizabeth Warren does is they're not applying intelligence or wisdom to this. They're just following the polls, right? They're just following the Aaron Burr, what's popular, right? And it's very disappointing. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion on the topic. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.